In forms of condensation, we have discussed the dew. Uh, in terms of defining the dew, I have told in the previous class that dew is one of the important ground level condensation. Ground air condensation or the ground level condensation. The transformation of the air moisture into the water droplets, minute water droplets, over the surface of the ground, over ground surfaces, without any suspension or without any help of the condensation nuclei or the hygroscopic nuclei, but the condensation take place on the surface itself, like the surface of leaves, grasses, any other colder surfaces. Then direct conversion of air moisture or the moist air into the water droplets or into the minute water sizes over the surface at the ground, that is the smooth, very cold, cooler surfaces, then it is called as the dew. Dew is one of the important form of condensations over the surface. But you have to remember that the temperature of the condensation, at which the temperature, at the temperature over which the condensation take place, that is known as dew point, is above the freezing point. It is not below freezing point, but it is above 0 degrees Celsius. But suppose if the temperature or the excessively cooling of the earth's surface or the surface temperature or the air, lower air, are there below freezing point or below 0 degrees Celsius, what will happen? So sure, we can say that the minute water droplets will not be formed, but it is the minute ice crystals can be formed. The snow particles or the ice particles will be formed instead of the water droplets. So we can say the conversion of or the modification or the changing of the air moisture directly into the ice crystals or the snow particles is called as frost. So frost is the another form of the condensation. The literal meaning, the meaning of frost is the conversion of the air moisture directly into the ice particles or the snow particles, because these changes of the air moisture are directly into the solid state or the ice crystals state. That's why it is called as the frost. And the process through which the changes of air moisture into directly into the ice particles or the ice crystals is called as sublimation. And the temperature over which this sublimation is being held or being processed is called as frost point. Frost point. This frost is formed into the two processes, two types. First is ground frost and second one is the air frost. Frost is having two types. One is at the ground frost, or you can say that surface frost, and another one is the air frost. Let us see how this ground frost has been formed. We know that there are the moisture in the grasses or over the tree are in the lower strata of the atmosphere. When there is the excessive cooling, either due to the outgoing terrestrial radiation or due to the advectional process or due to the adiabatic cooling, we can say that there the atmosphere or the lower strata of atmosphere or the grounds or the earth's surfaces become excessively cooled, and sometime in winter nights or in the colder areas or during the winter season or at high altitude or during the high latitudes or in colder areas, the surface of the earth or the lower atmosphere excessively cooled because of the outgoing terrestrial radiation or because of the advectional process or adiabatic processes, and that causes for the temperature lowering at the below the freezing point, below 0 degrees Celsius, -1, -4, -10, and that causes for the freezing or the air moisture converted directly into the air ice crystals or into the form of snowflakes, ice petals, and that is called as the frost. When it is occurred near to the ground, between the grasses, at the vegetation level, over the vegetation, or near to the ground level, then it will be called as the ground frost. Because if the air or the cooling effect of the lower ground surfaces are very much effective, then we can say that sublimation or the condensation will be take place from air moisture to ice crystals. However, if when write down a very important things, one of the a question that has been asked in the one line exam in IAS mains as well as in the PT, that what is hoar frost? There is another type of frost, hoar frost, H-O-A-R, H-O-A-R-F-R-O-S-T, hoar frost. ये नाम आपने कभी सुना है?
No, sir.
Hoar frost means when, write down, when the air moisture is directly converted into the ice, into the process of sublimation and deposited, that ice is deposited on the roofs, grasses, pavements, etc., then it is called as hoar frost. Where the ice crystals are having the having the silver white color look, like the jewelry, like the silver jewelry, and are very attractive, and this is called as hoar frost, when the ice or the snow is deposited over the roof, over the grasses, over the pavements in these areas, and their color are seems to be very much in the form of the white color jewelry, silver color, then it is called as hoar frost. There is another type of the frost that is being asked in the competitive examination, that is black ice. क्या ये नाम सुने हो? Black ice. Black ice. काला बर्फ. कितना contradictory. Black ice. Sometimes this black ice is also called as glazed frost. Glazedfrost. Glazed frost or the black ice. ये किसको कहेंगे? Black ice means when The ice crystals are deposited over the road, and in the morning it is mixed with the road as well as with the white color. Yes, sorry, pollution. Yeah, that may be the waste materials of the car. Or simply it means that when the thin ice sheets is deposited, or when the thin ice sheet are formed and deposited on the roads, then it is called as black ice or glazed frost. रोड पे छोटे छोटे पतले आपके आइस के मटेरियल्स जब डिपॉजिटेड होते हैं तो उसे ही हम जो है आपके ग्लेज्ड फ्रॉस्ट या ब्लैक आइस कहते हैं। एक और चीज आपके बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, दैट इज नोन एज क्रैचिन, CRACHIN, क्रैचिन। ये बताओ क्यों क्रैचिन? क्रैचिन, the literal meaning of the craching is freezing drizzle. Freezing drizzle. When the drizzling is taking place, a small minute size waterfall is being taking place, and in the way that moisture or the water droplets converted into the ice, so instead of that drizzling of the water droplets, the drizzling of the frost is occurred, and this drizzling of the frost is called as the drizzling frost, or you can also say it crachin, CRACHIN, crachin. It is not called as snowfall because the size of that ice crystals are very low. The drizzle is not called as rainfall because the minute droplets are called, and their rainfall or their falls down over their surface is called a drizzle. छोटे छोटे पानी की बूंदें बारिश की शक्ल में जब नीचे गिरती हैं तो उसे हम ड्रिजल कहते हैं। उसी तरीके से if that drizzle, suppose there is a temperature below freezing point at 0 degrees Celsius and the drizzling is taking place, and that minute water size of the droplets converted into the minute ice crystals and minute ice snow, then it is called as drizzle frost, or you can also say it freezing rain, freezing rain or freezing drizzle, or you can also say it crachin. And that is one of the frost overall is very dangerous for the crops or the cropping pattern, and that causes for the harmful effect to the cropping and the agricultural activities. There is another form of the condensation, and that is called as rime. Yesterday one of your friends have been asked the question, what is rime? किसने सवाल किया था कल? राइम क्या है? RIME, rime. Actually, rime is the form of condensation. It is the opaque, thin ice crystals, very granular, are the ice grains that is deposited at the corner of the certain landforms, at the corner of the certain, you can say that is their size is very teeny, they are very smaller, they are very opaque, and they coated in the form of the super cooled water droplets over the areas near to the corner of the certain surfaces like the edges, एकदम किनारे जो है आइस के फॉर्म में डिपॉजिटेड हो एक साथ, जैसे एजेस ऑफ दिस ब्रेंच or edges of the certain landforms or the edges of the certain vegetations or the certain grasses. छोटे छोटे अगर टीनी ग्रेनुलर साइज के आइस क्रिस्टल्स, ओपेक आइस क्रिस्टल्स अगर डिपॉजिटेड हैं तो उसे हम कहते हैं ग्राइम. Generally they are deposited at the edge or at the point of the any objects, and that is called as rime. Another form of condensation is mists and fog. और कभी कभी ये सवाल पूछता है कि how can you be able to differentiate between the mist and the fog? We know that there are the suspended minute size dust particles or the suspended materials are there in the troposphere. And when the Earth's surface is excessively cooled during the longer winter night, then these minute dust particles or the suspended materials become the basis for the condensation, basis for the formation of the minute water droplets. Their sizes are very minute, very small. The condensation over these hygroscopic nuclei suspended in the atmosphere near to the ground is called as fog and mist. Fog is the process of the condensation which occurs above the freezing point in the air, which is lying just over the ground surface and in the form of the teeny form of the suspended water droplets in the air. Fog is related to the minute size of the suspended water droplets in the atmosphere. जैसे जाड़े के दिनों में जब सरफेस बहुत कूल हो गया तो उसके ऊपर का एयर भी बहुत ही कूल हो जाएगा, क्योंकि the air derive the characteristics from the ground, and when the air gets cooled in a very excessive manner, then whatever the moisture that is there in that lower atmosphere, that condenses into the minute water droplets. When the hygroscopic nuclei or the minute water droplets and its size are smaller, are very smaller, and they are suspended in the lower atmosphere, then it is called as fog, and that reduces the visibility in the movement. लोगों को देखने में दिक्कतें होती हैं. Fog sustain more than the duration in compared to the mist. The duration of the mist is in the shorter span of the time in the evening, but the fog continues till the night as well as in the next day afternoon, and sometime in the next day in the whole part of the day. Fog is fog exists for the more longer duration in compared to the mist. Mist is the minute water droplets. It is a kind of the fog itself, but the water droplet size are very smaller and they disappear in a very shorter duration. The reduction of the visibility, the range of the visibility of the reduction of the visibility is not less than 1 kilometer. जैसे अगर मैं कहूं कि mist is the suspension of microscopic water droplets, इसका साइज जो है ज्यादा आपका छोटा होता है आपके ड्रॉपलेट्स का, and it also reduces the visibility at the earth's surface, It is the thin grayish wheel that covers the whole landscape. On the other hand, fog is the suspension of very small water droplets in the air that reduces the visibility not less than 1 kilometer. ये 1 किलोमीटर से कम में आपका जो है विजिबिलिटी को रिड्यूस करता है. The difference between the mist and the fog is related to weather conditions. Fog occurs, there is the damp, very humid and raw weather. But mist, it is not so damp, it is not so raw. Mist में बहुत ज्यादा ह्यूमिडिटी नहीं होती और ये बहुत ज्यादा आपको रॉ वेदर नहीं होता. The size of water droplets in the fog is generally larger in compared to the size of the water droplets into the mist, and the fog droplets are visible but the mist droplets are not visible. Fog के जो droplets है, minute waters आपके water droplets को आप देख सकते हैं, लेकिन जो mist का जो droplets है minute microscopic size के होते हैं और आप उसे देख नहीं सकते. Mist is generally formed over the wet surface in the evening, but it is evaporated during the sunshine. But the fog develops in the late night also and evaporated with the sunrise as well as continued till the day in the next day till the afternoon. Or we can see that how this visibility and the lowering of the visibility causes further danger for the aeroplane movement, transportations, human economic activities, and the other forms of life and activities. These are all the examples of fog, frost, mist, dew, rime. These were all the examples of the condensation at lower atmosphere near to the ground. Or you can say that was the example of the ground condensation. But in upper air condensation, that is above to the ground, that is at the higher altitude, we can see that there are another type of condensation, and that is called as upper air condensation. This upper air condensation occurred because of the adiabatic cooling of the parcel of air. We know that when the air gets heat, it warms up, it moves in upward directions drastically, and its volume expanded, and its area or its volume expanded, and because of the expansion of the air is characterized with the cooling effect, and at the certain height, when the dew point reaches, whatever the moisture that is there in that parcel of air, condensation, change and modified into the minute water droplets or minute ice crystals. And jointly these minute water droplets or minute water crystals at the upper air, that is in the form of suspensions in the upper atmosphere, is called as clouds. So clouds are nothing but it is the minute size water droplets in the upper atmosphere. It is the condensed moist air at the upper air is called as clouds. Clouds मतलब बादल आपने देखा है कभी? Clouds are the minute water droplets or minute ice crystals located in the upper air and having the various color, and their heights and locations are at different locations in the atmosphere, and these are called as the clouds. और clouds का अलग अलग नाम भी है, cumulus, nimbus, altus, as well as there is the another cloud like the stratus, cumulus, stratus, nimbus, altus. मिक्स्ड क्लाउड भी है, क्यूमुलोनिम्बस, अल्टो क्यूमुलस। ये आपको जो है ये पढ़ना होगा और ये आप इसको देख लीजिएगा। इसका रेफरेंस जो है मैं आपको बताता हूं, दैट इज देयर इन द जीसी लियोंग एंड गो शियोंग लियोंग of the certificate of physical and human geography. That is very important book. Savindra Singh ji, that is I also referred to him. Savindra Singh ji is also very important book. Faros is one of the important book, but I don't think that nowadays it is publishing, but it is one of the important book for the basic climatology. DS Lalji has also written the very nice book. These, and there are many books, Streller and Streller, you can also refer. There is another process that is called as the precipitation, and that is also linked with the condensation. Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah, हाँ, the humidity means बेटा यही होता है simply, the humidity indicates about the water vapor content or the moisture, atmospheric moisture content, or the air air moisture, water vapor that is found into the parcel of air is called as humidity. Humidity means the amount of air moisture found in the atmosphere or into the particular parcel of air is called as humidity. Humidity is dependent over the sources at the ground level, that is the water reservoir, water sources at the ground level, like the oceanic surfaces, lake, pond, river, glaciers, ice sheets. These are all are the water sources. That is one of the important source for the atmospheric moisture also. Then this humidity is also dependent over the rate of evaporation. Suppose water vapor is there over the Earth's surface, and that water vapor is not evaporating or is not changing in the form of air moisture, then we cannot say that atmospheric moisture can be reached at the atmosphere. So the evaporation is one of the important process through which the water in liquid converted into the water in gaseous state, that is air moisture or water vapor. Evaporation is dependent over the velocity of the wind as well as over the temperature or the dryness of the air. If the air is very dry, then evaporation rate will be high. If the air is already humid, then the evaporation rate will be low. If the velocity of the wind or turbulence of the wind is very high, then the evaporation rate will be very high. आपने नदियों के किनारे साड़ियों को हिला के सुखाते हुए देखा है? दो धोबी आपके पकड़ लिए और पूरे साड़ी को और कपड़ों को हिला रहे हैं, उससे आपका
Yes, sir.
या कभी-कभी जब कपड़ा नहीं सूखता है तो आप टेबल फैन के पास में उसको रख देते हो। टेबल फैन के जब किनारे आप, सॉरी, या तो जब पंखा चलता है या फैन से उससे हवा की वेलोसिटी तेज हो जाती है, जिसकी वजह से इवापोरेशन रेट भी तेज हो जाता है। तो उसके जो वाटर जो है जो आपके क्लॉथ्स में है वो कहाँ चला जाता है? वो इवापोरेट होके आपके इवापोरेशन के बाद गैसियस स्टेट में एयर मॉइस्चर के फॉर्म में वो एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर चले जाते हैं। उसी तरीके से velocity of the wind or temperature is one of the important phenomena. If the temperature will be high, it means that the heat energy will be high to that area, and that will cause further larger rate of evaporation of the water surfaces or the areas which are in liquid state or the in liquid water state. Then the temperature, wind velocity, dryness of the air are the important process through which the rate of evaporation will be high. Then evaporation ke alawa, there is the another factor that causes further increasing rate of the moisture in the atmosphere, that is called as transpiration. Transpiration means the whatever the stored water which is there in the leaves or in the grasses of the plants or the natural vegetation, they transpirate, they transfer their liquid water into the gaseous water from the leaves and then from the stems and the other grasses. Transpiration is one of the important process also through which the liquid water converted into the air moisture or in gaseous state of water in the atmosphere. Then there is the another process that is known as evapotranspiration. Evaporation plus transpiration combined are also one of the important factor that also enhances the level of the air moisture in the atmosphere. Then respiration, जब हम सांस लेते हैं, जब एनिमल सांस लेता है, respiration is also one of the important process through which we convert the air moisture, we produce the air moisture and that reaches to in the atmosphere. जैसे पसीना जो सूखता है, sweating, that has also generated the cooling effect, and that is also causes further increase of the air moisture in the atmosphere. So these are the various processes through which the air moisture reaches in the atmosphere, and this air moisture of the atmosphere into the particular parcel of air is called as the humidity, or you can say that water vapor in the atmosphere. But humidity is expressed into different forms. Sometimes humidity is expressed into the form of absolute humidity. Sometimes it is also expressed into the form of specific humidity, and sometimes it is called as relative humidity. Absolute humidity is nothing but it is the actual amount of the air moisture and its content that is found into the definite volume of air. किसी एक definite volume of air में volume of air, किसी एक definite volume of air में जितने grains या जितने ग्राम आपके moisture है, उसका weight जो है आपके absolute humidity कहलाता है. It is the real amount of the moisture that is found into the particular volume of the air in grams or in grains. That is called as absolute humidity. And that is not dependent over the temperature or the or anything, because it is the weight, actual weight है. वॉल्यूम को अगर आप बढ़ा देंगे तो वही जो मॉइस्चर थोड़ा दूर दूर हो जाएगा, लेकिन इसका वेट बराबर रहेगा. सेकंड, स्पेसिफिक ह्यूमिडिटी. स्पेसिफिक ह्यूमिडिटी मींस the actual amount of 1 kg आपने a parcel of air लिया in weight, उसमें आपने ये देखा कि कितना ग्राम्स आपके मॉइस्चर है. that is related to the a particular weight of the air, and then you measure to the what was the weight of that parcel of that air moisture. that is called as specific humidity. But in meteorology or in climatology, generally we apply the concept of relative humidity more. Relative humidity उसे कहते हैं कि जब किसी पार्सल ऑफ एयर का एक्चुअल ह्यूमिडिटी कैपेसिटी आपको पता है कि इसके अंदर की मॉइस्चर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी कितनी है, कितना ये होल्ड कर सकता है वो पार्सल ऑफ एयर, उसके रेशियो में उसके अंदर कितना अमाउंट है। जैसे अगर मैं ये कहूं, अगर मुझे पता है कि आपको 4 kg की 4 रोटी की भूख लगी है और मैं आपको 4 रोटी अगर दे दूं तो आपकी रिलेटिव ह्यूमिडिटी 100% हो जाएगी और आप सैचुरेट हो जाएंगे। If I know the humidity capacity of a particular parcel of air and the amount of the actual presence of the grains of the humid or the air moisture in that parcel of air and the ratio between the actual humidity capacity and the amount of the air moisture that is there in that parcel of air is called as the relative humidity. Relative humidity is the ratio, is the proportion between the humidity capacity of that parcel of air and the actual moisture that is found in that parcel of air in grams, in gram or in grains per cubic meter is called as the relative humidity. But relative humidity is not constant in all the temperature. It varies from the temperature to temperature. So we can say that on the definite constant temperature, the relative humidity indicates about the ratio between the actual amount of the air moisture present in the parcel of air and its capacity to uphold the maximum amount of air moisture over a different temperature. It is called as the relative humidity. The humidity capacity or the moisture holding capacity of a parcel of air may be increased or decreased if we change the level of temperature. Suppose if we increase the level of temperature of the atmosphere, then its moisture holding capacity will be more. अगर हम किसी पार्सल ऑफ एयर के तापमान को बढ़ा दें तो उसके अंदर जो ह्यूमिडिटी कैपेसिटी है, मॉइस्चर को अपहोल्ड करने की जो क्षमता है, वो बढ़ जाएगी और उसको ज्यादा चाहिए होगा मॉइस्चर ताकि वो सैचुरेट हो सके और उसकी रिलेटिव ह्यूमिडिटी कम हो जाएगी। तो रिलेटिव ह्यूमिडिटी इंडिकेट्स अबाउट द टोटल amount of moisture present in that parcel of air upon humidity capacity into 100. The humidity, relative humidity is calculated into the percentage, and this relative humidity varies with the temperature. If we lower the rate of the temperature, the humidity capacity of the parcel of air will be lowered down. कम ही मॉइस्चर है तो 100% रिलेटिव ह्यूमिडिटी हो जाएगा। अगर हम ह्यूमिडिटी कैपेसिटी को कम कर दें, हम 2 रोटी में ही सेटिस्फाई हो जा रहे हैं तो हम 2 रोटी में ही सैचुरेट हो जाएंगे। अगर हमें चाहिए 4 रोटी की भूख है, अगर हम काम करके आते हैं, टेम्परेचर बढ़ गया है, तो we required the more breads to be saturated. It means we required more relative humidity. And I think that you all will be understand about this concept that has already been discussed in the previous classes. Thank you so much for attending the class. Is there any question? ये आपको समझ में आ गया? चीजें समझ में आ रही है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We will discuss the precipitation and its various forms tomorrow. Thank you. Today's topic is forms of condensation. Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Thanks a lot.
Sir,
Yes.
hello.
Hello.
Sir, is
Dilshad.
it necessary that the process of जी sir, is it necessary that the process of condensation take place after the process of saturation?
Yeah. It is necessary that the condensation will be take place after the saturation and further its cooling. Further cooling of the saturated air. जब तक रिलेटिव 100% ह्यूमिडिटी 100% नहीं होगी तब तक एयर सैचुरेट नहीं होगा. अगर एयर को सैचुरेट करना है तो या तो टेम्परेचर कम हो जाए, टेम्परेचर कम कर दो, या तो उसके अंदर मॉइस्चर बढ़ा दो. तो टेम्परेचर कम कम होगा जब एयर ऊपर की ओर उठेगी, राइज होगी, ठंडी होकर ऊपर जब उठेगी तो एडियाबेटिक रेट ऑफ कूलिंग से एयर कूल हो जाता है जल्दी. और अगर गर्म एरिया है तो बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर उठना पड़ेगा, अगर ठंडा एरिया है तो थोड़ा सा ऊपर उठ के ही कूल हो जाएगी. दैट्स द थिंग्स. ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट.